Joe. Crazy Joe. Yeah, I'm Crazy Joe. I be running through the snow. Got no pants, got no shirt, got no mother.
Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe. We have another physical media review for you today. This one was sent to me from our friends at Warner Archive for review. And this is an interesting one, guys. This is an interesting one. It is an animated series, a complete animated series from Hanna-Barbera, the people who gave us the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, and so many other classic shows. This is one a lot of you maybe aren't going to remember, and this is an interesting one of the most interesting Hanna-Barbera shows possibly of all time. It is the 3-season sitcom from the 1970s, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. This is, the Flintstones was set in the Stone Age. The Jetsons were set in the future. There was another family sitcom called The Roman Holidays set during the Roman Empire. This is the only family sitcom that Hanna-Barbera ever did that was set in the present. It was set in the 1970s. And it's about a father named Harry Boyle, his wife, his kids, and family life sitcom. Now, if the Flintstones was based on the Honeymooners, this was very much based on All in the Family. Now, I mentioned this is a very interesting series. Why is this interesting? This show was definitely created for adults. They talk about things that you don't expect to see on a Hanna-Barbera cartoon in here. There's talk about sex. There's talk about politics, religion. There's the next door neighbor, Ralph. The next door neighbor, Ralph, in this show is basically an Archie Bunker type. He's a bigot. He's a loudmouth. In the pilot episode called The Fling, he tells Harry, you got to make it to the lodge tonight because we got to vote on the new member. And he doesn't want to let the Jewish guy get in. If we let that Jewish guy get in, we're all going to be eating matzo balls. Harry is not bigoted. He said, I like matzo balls. I don't have a problem with that. So basically, this shows very much like an All in the Family type show. But Harry is not your Archie Bunker type. He's a little more liberal-minded. The neighbor Ralph, however, though, he's your typical Archie Bunker type liberal or conservative. So it gets a little edgy, this show. It definitely does. The kids are like hippies. You can see the son. There's the son. And the son, by the way, or the youngest son, is voiced by Jackie Earle Haley. Jackie Earle Haley voices the youngest son, the Rorschach from Watchmen. How about that? There you go. Tom Bosley voices the dad, Harry. And you may think, Tom Bosley, of course, Happy Days was huge back then. This show premiered before Happy Days. He wasn't even Howard Cunningham yet when he started voicing this. It's kind of interesting. All right, I also want you to take a good look at those character designs. Look at those characters. Do they look like a Hanna-Barbera character to you? These characters do not look like Fred Flintstone or George Jetson. This is the most unique animation style Hanna-Barbera ever did. It's really wild. Look at them. This doesn't look like Hanna-Barbera, but it is. In fact, there's the Hanna-Barbera logo right there. Yeah, this is Hanna-Barbera. Wild, huh? How many of you knew about this show? If you're older, you probably remember it. Here's the thing. I remember this show. I'm 48. This show premiered in 1972. It was off the air by the time I was born. I was born in 76. This show was off the air. I remember it. How? I don't know. Somebody must have shown reruns in the 80s. That's the only thing I could think of. I saw this show on television in the 80s. It must have been reruns. I don't know who was airing it. Someone had to be airing it because this show was before my time, but I've seen this show on TV. Another interesting thing is, like, we're talking about the art style. Not only do these characters not just look like an average Hanna-Barbera character, the backgrounds on this show, very sparse. A lot of blanks, beiges, solid colors. It makes for a very interesting looking show. This is really fascinating. I am I'm really fascinated by the show. I'm gonna probably watch every episode of this. I want to see. I want to see where this goes because it's really interesting. Here's the problem. It's not. I don't think the humor translates very well. It's not very funny. Maybe it was funny in 1972. The humor doesn't really translate, but it's a fascinating piece of animation history. So even if you're not laughing, it's still compelling to watch. All right, let's take a look what we got. Oh, by the way, special features. You get a retrospective on here. A retrospective called Animation for the Nation, Illustrating the Times. How the show's artistic styles perfectly captured the era. That's the only special feature you're getting on there. Let's take a look at the discs. I believe there's 6 discs. Am I correct there? Yes, 6 discs. The episode titles are clearly printed on the disc, making it very easy to find the episode you want to watch. The only thing that is not labeled is which disc has the special features on it. I have not found the special features yet. I can tell you they're not on disc 1. Maybe they're on disc 6. I'll have to pop on disc 6 because they are not on disc 1. But yeah, it's very well done. Yeah, the episode titles clearly printed on the disc. There you go. Very similar to some of the other releases we saw. I mean, they just did Hanna-Barbera just did the complete series of Top Cat in much the same fashion. This is a more interesting series than Top Cat. Top Cat was also a primetime series, though. The Flintstones, the Jetsons, Top Cat, and Wait Till Your Father Gets Home were all primetime shows. Only 2 of those shows lasted more than a season. That's the Flintstones and Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what? The Jetsons didn't last more than a season? There's got to be more than 1 season of the Jetsons. You're right. There is more than 1 season of the Jetsons. But that happened in the 80s. There was only 1 season made initially in the 60s, and they aired that 1 season in reruns for years. Then around 1985, they said, you know what? Let's make more. And they made more episodes. So there's like something like 3 or 4 seasons of the Jetsons, but that was done later. In its original network airing, there was only 1 season of the Jetsons. So this is one of the only Hanna-Barbera primetime shows alongside the Flintstones that made it more than 1 season. It made it 3 seasons, but more like 2, because the last season was only something like 4 episodes. So there you go. Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. Have you seen this show? Do you remember this show? What are your memories of the show? Please write down below. This is kind of an obscure one. My good friend Dave, who's a couple years older than me, he wasn't familiar with this show. I was telling him that I was reviewing this, and he didn't know Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. So I'm curious who does remember it, because this is kind of an obscure one. And what are your thoughts? Is this something you want to pick up? This is Warner Archive. Warner Archive is made on demand. So if you're interested in this, you're going to have to go to Amazon or the Warner Archive website and special order it. These aren't going to be in brick and mortar stores. I want to thank Warner Archive for sending me this for review. Like I said, this is one of the most fascinating Hanna-Barbera series of all time, I think. And I'm happy to be able to check it out complete. I've watched 3 episodes so far. I'm going to keep watching. All right, everyone. Thank you to Warner Archives, and everybody keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, it's a trap. Oh, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.